Sometimes gambling is not even the problem, it's the people that you continuously surround yourself with.
Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier were arrested as part of FBI investigations into sports gambling.
I swear I don't gamble. I don't even know the spread, man.
Gambling can ruin your life, man. It can ruin your life and everything that you love. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. How do we even get into this situation with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier? Because they've been arrested. They've been arrested for rigging gambling games to their benefit. Now one would wonder, you're already paid millionaires, you're establishing your careers, you may not be the best in your fields, but you have enough money compared to the average person, so what more do you need? Or how much money would you need to be happy and satisfied with your life?
Today, 3 notable arrests were made. The first one, Chauncey Billups, the Portland Trailblazers head coach. He was just coaching in an NBA game last night in Portland against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was arrested at around 6 a.m. in Portland, Oregon. Terry Rozier, Miami Heat guard. He was also arrested this morning at 6 a.m. in Orlando. And then Damon Jones, also played in the NBA, was an assistant coach in the NBA. He was arrested this morning at 6 a.m. Rozier was involved with charges around sports betting, prop bets, giving information to conspirators that were gambling on games, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Allegedly. Chauncey Billups was involved in allegedly illegal poker games and cheating and rigging on those poker games as part of a MAFIA mob-tied affiliated situation. And Damon Jones is the one guy that was charged that had crossover with both. Obviously, this is seismic news around the NBA. 30-plus arrests. I'm told Malik Beasley is not involved in this situation. We'll see how much more comes of this. It started as a 3, 4, 5-person group. It's now morphed into over 40. It has mob affiliation. Will there be more? I'd gotten wind last night that there was going to be a press conference and that Kash Patel.
Now, it's funny that the wealthy are hungry and looking for ways to make more money, even though those ways are not legal.
Why?
And the people with less money are satisfied with wherever they are in their lives. So, let's get into why this whole gambling issue is a problem. It's a problem because the NBA will want to have a brand that is not connected to anything that's illegal. And when you are betting on yourself and you have a direct implication of whether those bets can come true, it is unfortunately gonna impact how you play, thereby affecting the goodwill of NBA sports and NBA players and NBA investors.
Fuck.
Because we already know that there's a trend going on about the NBA being rigged. But even though it's never been really provable, it will still come down with force on everything that's trying to ruin the name of the NBA.
March 23rd, 2023, Terry Rozier started for the Charlotte Hornets in New Orleans. Grabbed a few rebounds, hit a few shots, playing great. Then after 9 minutes, he is ruled out with a foot injury. No limp, he wasn't stepped on, nothing. But some people obviously saw this injury coming. Because earlier that day, is there any reason why there are 0 Terry Rozier props on any sports books or DFS sites? Did I miss something? No, he wasn't listed on the Hornets injury report before the game, but obviously, somebody knew something. Sportsbooks took Rozier off their menu to not take any more bets, but why? And now Rozier plays just 9 minutes and then is out the rest of the game. Conspiracy theorists are gonna run with this one. Yes, they will. Except it wasn't some wacky conspiracy. It turns out, on game day, a firm called US Integrity notified sportsbooks of abnormal betting volume on Terry Rozier under. Unusual, because US Integrity only raised a red flag 3 times in 2 years. Twice for a player named Jonte Porter, now banned for life for a betting scandal, and once for Terry Rozier. Uh-oh. Is this proof that Terry is guilty of rigging bets?
Now, the worst part about this entire scandal, this entire crime ring with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier was apparently when it came to Terry Rozier and the NBA, the NBA was complicit. The NBA knew Terry Rozier was cheating. They knew that their players were rigging games, but they swept it under the rug.
Absolutely right, Rich. The NBA at some point is going to have to explain why Terry Rozier was allowed to keep playing. And I just want to point something out. The sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened, the morning it happened, when all of a sudden there was hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in on Terry Rozier unders for a relatively meaningless game in March, involving the Charlotte Hornets. The sports books caught it. They told the NBA right away, and guess what? The NBA, Rozier didn't play the rest of the season, and he had faked the injury, so it wasn't because of the injury. The NBA pulled him. They pulled Jonte Porter too. They flagged Jonte Porter and pulled Jonte Porter. The NBA's measures, their protection measures, the sportsbook's protection measures, triggered this. They caught it.
Now let's talk about Rozier and Billups. Sometimes when the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil, you have nothing to say but just accept it. Because when you're content, it is also one of the happiest places that you can be in your life. Now, content doesn't mean that you become lazy and do nothing, but it will give you a sense of moralism to tell you and to know that you don't have to do some certain illegal things to get paid.
My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga. Help me.
Wait for a second, I gotta ask a question. Have you all subscribed to this channel yet? I know you are enjoying this video, so make sure you subscribe so we can fly. Back to the video. And it's funny because even these illegal things that people get themselves into do not pay them as much as they will think. But sometimes when you start something and you get involved in the wrong environment, you get involved with the wrong people, you get involved with the wrong actions, it's not really easy to get out of that because now you owe more, you've made promises, and the people that are in those type of lifestyles don't let you get away scot-free.
That's him. Look, that's him. Look, he looks at this player, looks at his teammate. Look what he does. Look, he looks at him again. He just kind of loses the ball. Okay. Nigga hits a three. He doesn't even contest the three. Oh, wow. Here's another one. He's going through. Now, that could have been a actual pass because this guy, he jumped the route.
I am very sure that Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are engaged in lifestyles and addictions that are not suitable for their paycheck, and either because of that, they would have to dip their hand in other ways of making money that is not right. So sometimes when you get so much money and it really makes a dent to your lifestyle as a millionaire, you can imagine what you would do to maintain that type of lifestyle, to the point of scamming people for your own benefit. Now, here's the other side that we do not talk about. Sometimes people are put in these circumstances whether they like it or not because of the people or the circle that they keep around them. If you do not have people around you that engage in messed up behavior, you're less likely to engage yourself in that type of behavior.
But also, they were scamming, cheating, and finessing people out of millions of dollars. And according to the indictment and the documents, Chauncey Billups was one of the people who was engaging in this illegal poker scheme to scam and defraud people out of millions of dollars. But the stupidest part about all of this, bruh, is these dudes weren't even doing it for themselves. These dudes weren't finessing millions of dollars and keeping all the profit. No, because Chauncey Billups is an NBA coach. He makes multi-million dollars each and every year. Chauncey Billups was finessing and scheming millions of dollars on behalf of the Mafia, and he was getting a little cut of it. But what they did was they would use the face of Chauncey Billups, and they would say, hey, listen, we the Mafia, bro. We the mob, bro. Like, if we tell people, hey, we doing a poker game, they say, yeah, okay, buddy. We're not joining that poker game. It's not happening. We're not about to come and play, bro. Y'all not credible. But if we say, yo, Chauncey Billups is hosting a poker game, this NBA player is hosting a poker game, that would attract poker professionals. That would attract the pros and novices to come, and they want to play poker with Chauncey Billups, and they're willing to bet because you have an aura of legitimacy to you. Chauncey Billups signed up, say, yeah, use my name. I'll be there. I'll do it, and I'll get a cut of it. So you'll risk losing your multi-million-dollar NBA coaching career, and you made $100 million in your NBA career for a cut of a couple million?
And if you surround yourself with people that are doing illegal shit, implicating yourself and your family, it would be so hard to not get involved. And that's when life separates the strong from the weak. Because even though your lifestyle and even though you're in debt, there are some things that you wouldn't do because you know that if you get caught or if you ever get in trouble, the risks far outweigh the rewards. Regardless, it all comes back to one of three things. It all comes back to pride, money, and power. At the end of the day, if you see the downfall of a human being, is one of these three, and only the strong will survive. Here are some comments that I found. Why is everybody surprised? It's a business. Every sport's been rigged. And that is not the issue. We are not surprised that there's something happening. We all know that there's a lot of illegal stuff happening around the world. But if you get caught, you cannot be complaining about what's happening to you because you did something that's illegal. We're not even in the playoffs yet. Like, what in the world? And that's the funny thing. Things like this always expose you when you think you're at your safest points. When you think you're safe and nothing can touch you, all of a sudden, I do not understand. They make millions. Why bet and ruin it? And that's the irony of human beings. You have enough, but you want more even when you don't need it. And sometimes they may need it because we don't know who is attached to these people. We don't know what people are going through behind the scenes. And that lets you know that money is not everything. You'll be surprised that the more money you make, all of a sudden, the more responsibilities. Have you guys experienced that? The more money you make, all of a sudden, the more responsibilities that you have. It's a funny thing about life, you know? LeBron is really quiet right now. Please don't bring LeBron into this. LeBron's name has already been through enough. He doesn't need to be brought into this mess. So, let me know your opinions in the comment section. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share.